Good evening, good morning, good night, wherever you may be. It is I, Mike Martins. Thanks for joining me today for another special edition of 200 Bucks Baby. And what am I talking about, 200 Bucks Baby? Well, it's what I've been talking about for the last, 8, 9, 10 years on this channel. 46% of Canadians, $200 or less away from financial insolvency, says poll. I believe it. I believe it. I used to work in a huge financial institution. I was a high-ranked regional manager, and I saw when credit bureaus were pulled what people had left over after they paid their bills. It was very scary. Scary Terry. Oh man, was it ever scary. More than half of respondents say they are feeling the pinch of higher interest rates, and I don't think it's just higher interest rates, people. A lot of people are borrowing on their signature. So a lot of renters are borrowing to buy a bicycle, to buy a state-of-the-art video game system and a new computer, and there are people borrowing against that. So according to the recent survey, 45% respondents say they will need to go further into debt to pay their living family expenses. So we're talking about food consumption, right? The number of Canadians who are $200 or less away from financial insolvency at month end has jumped 46% from 40% in the previous quarter as interest rates rise, according to the new poll. A survey conducted for insolvency firm MNP Ltd. in December also found that 31% of Canadians say they don't make enough to cover the bills and debt payments, up 7% from the September poll. The results released Monday also indicated that 51% of the respondents say they are feeling the pinch of interest rates increase from 45% a quarter ago. Many have so little wiggle room that any increases in the living costs or interest payments can tip them over the edge. The MNP's president, Grant Bazian, in a statement, that's what we are seeing happening right now, as well as 45% of those surveyed said they will need to go further into debt to pay their living and family expenses. And that's why we're reading these articles on Better Dwelling about the amount of housing people consuming on their lines of credits and HELOCs to eat, and it's basic living expenses. The heat's expensive this month. What do we do? Turn the heat off, or do we draw from our line of credit so we don't freeze? And that's what's happening, and that's the scary reality that's happening right now across Canada and Australia and New Zealand and any English-speaking country that has been bought out and damaged by foreign investing. Canadians' finances have come under increased pressure after the Bank of Canada introduced 5 rate hikes mid-2017 in response to a stronger economy. Central Bank Governor Stephen Poloz kept his benchmark interest rate unchanged earlier this month at 1.7%, 1.75%, but has signaled that more rate increases will be necessary over time. Well, our dollar is deteriorating right now. I don't know if you guys been checking the oil. Oil went down, so today I had an opportunity to buy some oil at bargain prices, and I did so this morning. So it's good for some people and it's bad for some that are not taking the risk or I guess playing the game, right? Interest rate worries. MNP's last worry also showed that half Canadians surveyed said they believe they could be in financial trouble if rates continue to rise, up 5% from the previous poll. Higher interest rates combined with household expenses that outweigh income mean that some are unable to make any kind of meaningful reduction in their debt. In fact, continue to take on more, especially they encounter unexpected expenses, Bazian said. Donna Carson, a licensed insolvency trustee with MNP, said that people are struggling with factors such as job losses, salary reduction, and credit card debt can eventually find themselves overwhelmed by rising interest rates. So, guys, this is going to affect, like I said, even if you're renting or you're couch surfing. Best thing is not to get yourself into debt. You know what I'm saying? At all. It's not an overnight thing. I mean, the switch has been flipped. Carson said it's been a slow accumulation of debt. Yeah, it has been an overnight thing because people have been borrowing to buy second and third properties. Boomers are borrowing against their HELOCs in their homes. So there's a lot more going on that they're keeping from us. Insolvency concerns rose across the country, which with the expectation of Atlantic Canadians, said MNP. Saskatchewan, Manitoba residents were more likely to bear near insolvency at 56%, up 8%. Percentage point from previous poll, MP said. Alberta's residents were second at 48%, up 8 points. Ontario, Quebec followed at 46 points each, up 6 points and 5 points respectively. Among the residents surveyed in Atlantic Canada, 45% said they were $200 or less away from financial brink. But that marked a decrease of 4 percentage points from September, the survey said. This is it's becoming more and more unattainable. The Credit Counseling Society of Calgary said his organization is seeing the impact of new people who've been struggling financially for the first time. So you're going to see a lot of first-time strugglers hitting the ladders right now. What we're seeing is people who have a hard time, that have done their best to manage through it, are now finding the situation more and more unattainable, he said. I guess because the property housing is going down, so the property values are going down. Hey, but don't you worry. Property assessment values are going up, so you pay more tax. And that's what's happening right now in Vancouver. What we're seeing is people who have had a hard time, that have done their best to manage through it, that are now finding the situation more and more untenable, he said. Lupsus, which conducts the quarterly poll of MNP, surveyed 2,154 Canadians online from December 7th to December 12th. Online surveys cannot be assigned a margin error because they do not randomly sample the population. Sorry about that. I got kids, and my daughter's just freaking out right now. Let me know what's going on in your neck of the woods. I know Australia's pretty bad. I think they're like $266. I think the U.S. is a lot less. It's like $96 for insolvency. So let me know what's happening in your neck. I know the UK is even worse. So many people borrowing against everything in the UK. People putting liens on their cars in the UK. I got a car. I want to get a reverse auto loans. So reverse auto loans are going to be coming this summer to the Northern Hemisphere. So brace yourselves for that, people, so as people struggle to keep themselves in tune. Anyway, guys, join me. Don't forget to join me. Don't forget to hit me up in the tip jar. A $5 donation is $1 to $5 is great. Thanks for helping me out, guys, and keeping this transmission rolling. I got a family today. I gotta go check on my daughter and see. She's with my wife and my son, so she's probably got a toy taken away from her. Anyways, and that's living with family, and I love it. I love family, and I'm very pro family. Watch some of my pro family videos and how raising family, and Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that. So my video gets flagged. $200, baby. Let me know in your neck of the woods how close people are to financial ruin. Thanks for watching.